thing. The biggest empires in history are those that manage to outlast their founders. While the founder may have started it all, it is the empire's ability to survive beyond its creator that cements its place in history. In today's video, we will look at one such great empire, that of the Achaemenid Persians. And we will start with the first emperor of this vast realm, Cyrus the Great. Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we'll be discussing Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Achaemenid Empire and one of the greatest emperors in ancient history. After defeating the Medes, Cyrus turned his attention towards the west and began marching through Anatolia, conquering the Lydians and the rest of Western Asia Minor. Soon, he was knocking on the doors of the famous city of Sardis, which belonged to King Croesus of Lydia, who was so wealthy that the ancient Greeks used him as a synonym for riches. Now, while Croesus was rich, he wasn't very wise. He should have known better than to pit himself against someone like Cyrus. So when Cyrus gave him the option to surrender or face the wrath of his armies, Croesus chose the latter. According to Herodotus, Cyrus entered Sardis with 120,000 men and completely destroyed the city. The Lydian king lost his kingdom and had to flee for his life. Meanwhile, Cyrus continued his campaign in Asia Minor. He seized the important cities of Ephesus, Halicarnassus, and many others. His next target was the city of Mylassa, but it was defended by King Phratophons of Lydia. Phraates tried his best to hold off the Persians, but the Achaemenid army was too strong, and soon the city fell. After that, no other ruler dared to defy Cyrus, and thus, all of Anatolia came under Persian rule. With the rest of Western Asia Minor now in his possession, Cyrus turned his attention back towards the east. His first order of business was to reassert his authority over the rebellious Babylonians. He marched towards the city with his army and laid siege to it. However, the city was well defended, so he ordered his men to dig a tunnel under the city walls and divert the river running just outside the city. With the river's flow blocked, the Babylonians had no choice but to surrender. It is said that after taking Babylon, Cyrus set it on fire, either as punishment for its rebellion or to celebrate his victory. Either way, the fire burned for 7 days straight. Next up, he marched northwards and subdued the kingdom of Europe to secure his northern borders. He then went to Elam and took its capital, Susa, which became one of the royal residences of the Achaemenid kings. After suppressing rebellions here and there, Cyrus once again returned to Babylon, where he founded the New Year's festival called Achaem, named after him. This festival would be celebrated every year in the month of March to commemorate his conquest of Babylon. One of Cyrus's most important accomplishments was the introduction of the concept of human rights. He issued a famous edict known as the Cyrus Cylinder, which is considered to be the first charter of human rights. The cylinder stated that everyone in his empire, regardless of their background, religion, or social status, was free to worship whatever god they pleased, to travel throughout the empire, and to own property. Moreover, it also proclaimed religious tolerance in an era when subjugated peoples were typically forced to abandon their beliefs and adopt the religion of their conquerors. Cyrus truly understood the value of diversity and the strength that comes from it. He inherited an empire that stretched from Central Asia to the Mediterranean Sea, and from the Caucasus Mountains to the Arabian Peninsula. But during his reign, he added more territories to it. He conquered Media, Lydia, Urartu, Elam and parts of Mesopotamia, Anatolia and Arabia. All these regions formed the core of the Achaemenid Empire. It was an empire like none other, made up of people from different backgrounds, cultures and religions. Yet Cyrus managed to hold it together. He was the architect of one of the largest empires of the ancient world. Under his rule, the subject nations enjoyed a large degree of autonomy in their internal affairs, and, even though he collected tribute from them, it was not excessive. He did not burden his subjects, but instead implemented policies that promoted trade and economic growth. After all, he was keen on making his empire prosperous. As a result of these favorable policies, the empire thrived under his leadership. It is said that when he took Babylon, he freed the Hebrew exiles from captivity and allowed them to return to Jerusalem to rebuild their temple. Historians believe that the Jews adopted Cyrus as a messianic figure because of this event. In fact, the books of Ezra and Nehemiah in the Old Testament refer to him as the Lord's anointed. Unfortunately, Nothing remains of Cyrus's grand empire today except for the ruins of Persepolis, which lie in modern-day Iran. Nonetheless, historians still sing praises of this great leader who united disparate peoples into one empire, whose policies of religious tolerance and economic growth laid the foundation for a new era in world history. It is hard to say exactly how long Cyrus ruled. Ancient sources are often vague about the dates of ancient rulers' reigns. Even Herodotus, who wrote about Cyrus, does not mention the exact duration of his rule. However, based on historical records and archaeological evidence, scholars estimate that Cyrus the Great reigned for around 30 years, from 559 BCE to 530 BC. Cyrus the Great died in 530 BCE during the battle with the Masojeti tribe located somewhere between the Caspian and Ural Seas. According to Greek historian Herodotus, Cyrus was killed when he tried to tame a horse without a bridle. When he attempted to put a bit in its mouth, the animal reared up and gored him with its horn, causing his death. The circumstances surrounding Cyrus's death remain uncertain, too. It is possible that the story about the horse was fabricated by the Greeks to portray Cyrus as a victim of hubris, or to emphasize the unpredictability of fate. Regardless of the truth behind the account, Cyrus's legacy as a great conqueror and ruler endured for centuries. Following Cyrus's death, his son Cambyses II inherited the throne and continued the family's legacy of empire building. After him, the empire was ruled by Darius the Great, who is remembered for his administrative reforms and the construction of the royal road. Cyrus left behind a legacy that inspired awe and wonder in the ancient world and continues to fascinate historians today. He is remembered as a brilliant military strategist, a wise administrator, and a champion of human rights. His contributions to the development of human civilization are immeasurable, and his story continues to be told and retold throughout history. We hope you enjoyed learning about Cyrus the Great. If you did, please let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We have plenty of other videos about ancient history and civilizations to keep you entertained and informed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Now check out another video from the series, which covers the rise and fall of yet another great empire. Click the link on screen now to keep watching.